I stopped. Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I am going to put the subscribe tag up because people, um, I have more unsubscribers to look at my show than I do subscribers, right? So I want you guys to make sure you hit the subscribe button, okay? But anyways, you guys, oh, and don't forget to hit the like button. Um, I want you guys to know that I truly appreciate you looking at my show. I really appreciate um your support. I do. I think my subscribers absolutely rock. We have grown folks conversation over here, and we're not emotional sickos, right? I got some real grown ass people that come over here that are drawn to my channel, and that's what I pray for, right? But anyways, y'all, on yesterday, on October the 30th, 2002. Did I say 2002? 2022. I'm sorry. I became a grandmother and looking at my grandbaby, oh my God. She looks just like um my daughter. When my daughter was a baby, she looked just like her. Let me see. I think I was showing some pictures. I put them up for a little while and I had to pray about it. I was a little reluctant at first because I was like, I put pictures up of her. There are a lot of sickos that pray death and stuff on people's children, but and things, and it's just a lot of sick people out there. Um, but what I did was I got on the praying line and I got with some of the spiritual people, and we just started praying. As a matter of fact, they came up to the hospital too to pray over my grandbaby, to pray over my daughter, because a lot of people don't understand how when you're giving birth. Like I had a first cousin, my aunt, one of my dad's youngest sisters, who was a police officer. Okay, he's got three sisters that are that's MPD. Well, he had three, and my auntie Angie, which is was one of my dad's younger sisters. Um, Her daughter Sheena, who had worked on the police department with me. We both went through the academy. We became traffic officers. They sent me back up to Crime Stoppers because I had worked in the investigative division um, to work in Crime Stoppers. And Sheena was still on the street. And she ended up leaving the police department, Sheena did, and moving to Atlanta. She became like an Israelite or something. Um, but she lived up there for many years. And she came back to Memphis. She had three boys. She came back to Memphis. She had just came back to Memphis. Been back in Memphis for like 2 years, and she got pregnant with her first daughter, and a healthy girl. She didn't eat pork. She didn't eat. She believed in growing. She ate all natural foods, just very healthy, very beautiful. Um, and she went and to I believe it was St. Francis and had her baby. That's the same hospital that killed my grandmother. And they left placenta in her by mistake. And she went into pain. But to make a long story short, because I started getting into that because I started thinking about my cousin. And um they that when she went back to the hospital 5 days after she had her baby, and this was 2 years ago, and she ended up they induced her to try to, because it had poisoned her whole body, to try to get the poison out of her body, and she went into cardiac arrest. She didn't recover. Sheena was 32 years old. Okay. My aunt, who was a police officer, was in the process, like my other aunts, um of rising through the ranks. My aunt Jackie is a lieutenant. okay, in one of the investigative units. I'm not gonna say which one. And um she couldn't take her daughter just going to the hospital to have a baby. Okay. And Sheena died in July. My aunt, who was very healthy, went into cardiac arrest in December. She just couldn't let go. It she would she went into a depression, and she just didn't come out, and it took a toll on her health within months. A healthy lady who believed in exercising, was on the force, stayed in shape. It just took her down, right? So that was very sad. It was very sad for my family, my dad, because my dad is very close to his sisters. My dad is the oldest, very close to his sisters and stuff, very protective. That was devastating. It was devastating with Sheena, and it was definitely devastating with my aunt Angie. Like, I grew up with my aunts, my dad's sisters. One thing about them, they always doted on their nieces and nephews, especially, like, even though it wasn't, just the sisters' kids, it was the boys' kids too. We were just very, my aunt, just even like now. Hell, they was trying to fill the hospital up with my grandbaby. Like, my aunts are like that, right? And so I said that to say this. I just got into thinking about my aunt and my cousin. That I was in prayer consistently for my daughter, and I had praying warriors. I get emotional to come and pray for my daughter, because I be, you want to share, um you be wanting to share great things, but there are so many sick, damaged people. They'll go, "We're gonna pray a death on her children." It's folks like that. And so, people like that, when you recognize people like that, you have to consistently put prayer on them. And one thing we know about voodoo and whatever it is that they practice, it can't go up against some Holy Ghost filled praying warriors. And that's what I keep around me. Okay. And so, oftentimes people find themselves in their grave. And a lot of times that's where they want to go, because they're so evil. There are a lot of evil entities in the atmosphere. And I understand that now with YouTube. Even with when you pay hackers, when you got hackers on your team because you think you're gonna own YouTube, or you think you can control what somebody else make or don't make, you a sick individual. You see what I mean? Because you put yourself in a position to go down, because these hackers ain't got no loyalty to these Negroes who think they're gonna have networks on YouTube. They're not going to. It ain't gonna work, because they already into all kinds of different illegal shit. And you better believe me when I tell you that. Okay. And so when you go messing with people, you often open yourself up to stuff like that. Because folks don't, I know for me, people don't necessarily have time to even deal with other people when they're about their business, unless they insistent on harassing and messing with them. Okay. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I had, my daughter had her baby. I said all that to say this. My daughter had her baby, and she is a butterball. Oh my God. She's not as long, but my daughter was long. And but they're saying that she's longer than my daughter, but she looks short. But she got those. My daughter was plump. My daughter was 7 pounds, I believe 7'10". She's 8'9". They both got those big legs, fat jaws. Well, she's got those fat hanging jaws. My baby didn't have fat hanging jaws, but she's plump like her mother was, as far as solid with the big legs and stuff. And she is fussy. She don't like being moved. She want to lay right in her mama bosom. And so I woke up, FaceTime her mama this morning because I want to see my grandbaby. And we're all so excited. We were all like, I was in when she started coming. It's funny how things work out, because I told my daughter, I was like, my gynecologist, I want you to use him. And she was like, okay. And she went to another gynecologist, right? Because he's an OBGYN. And and when okay, so when she went into labor, her doctor wasn't there. In walks my gynecologist. I said, that looks like doctor. I ain't gonna say who that was because they'll be trying to hack his shit. We want to see what medical is because people are obsessed with me. And so I was like, oh my God, this is the guy that I told you about. He was like, it's just fate. He was funny, but it was so good. He was like, he kept us inclusive, and you talking about crying and snot running, and oh my God, my grandbaby coming. And they didn't have to spank her on her butt or nothing. She just came out squealing because she didn't want to be bothered, you know. Um, but I was there. I told him, I said, you make sure you get all that placenta out of my baby. Okay. You get it all because I don't want no problems now. And I was so glad he was there that it was my gynecologist that he was on call. He wasn't actually her doctor, so it was just fate. And it was just a beautiful moment. It was similar to my situation when I had my baby. My dad was in there, my mama was in there. My dad was in the corner just trembling. Everybody was in there the same way with my daughter. My sister was crying, her brothers ended. I mean, it was just amazing to see baby Justice come in the world. And I ain't mean to go on 11 minutes, but I'm getting emotional because I remember when she was born, her original name was Justice. And so my dad had asked me because I had three names for her. One of them was Lyric, one of them was Justice, and the name she got now. And so my dad said, have you thought of a name? And he said, what do you think about Justice? And I was like, well, that's one of the names, Dad, that I was thinking about. He was like, why don't you name it Justice? And I actually put Justice on the birth certificate. Okay. And then my mom came in and she said, what are you naming her? I said, Justice uh Nicole. And I actually changed the middle name too. Okay. When I changed her name. And so she was like, but I thought you liked the other name. It's got a lot of meaning to it. The other name does this, and that. And this is before I even got into the legal field, right? And so but my dad has always been an activist, so that's why he liked Justice, right? And then I changed her, so her name was Justice for a day. When the lady came back in there, I was like, ma'am, can I change her name? And she did not want to do it because I had to fill out the paperwork. And so she's like, I'm about to send it off to Social Security. We normally don't do that. I said, please let me change her name. And that was before I left the hospital. And she said, I'll let you do it this one time. So she asked me last month, Mama, what was you gonna name me? What was that name you said you gave me originally? I said, Justice Nicole. And she said, that's what I'm gonna name her. So I got my Justice anyways. And it's funny because when I changed her name from Justice, I changed her middle name and I ended up giving her sister the middle name Nicole. And so she, gave her the middle name Nicole too for her sister. So it was just amazing. Like it is like I couldn't I just don't know what to think because she's 24 years old and everything that I ever did has been centered around my kids and making sure that they was protected. Like I've always been the mama bear. Like I've always been the damn lioness and um um the lion queen and king when it came to them, even now. And to think now that she has a baby, it is just absolute. I got to end this because it's just absolutely amazing. Okay. And it makes me think about like all that I did to protect them. It, hey, and I still will. It has always been worth it. Because sometimes I used to feel guilty because I was like, well, I didn't let them do this. I didn't let them go to slumber parties because I let them go to one slumber party. And I used to feel guilty about that because I was like, maybe I should have let them live a normal life because everything was always at my house. If that we went to the fair, I always took everybody, to the fair. I would tell their mama's friend, their friend's mama, well, I'll take them, it was just, I was just that protective, like, I don't know, to the point where I started to feel guilty when they got grown, because I was like, did I smother them? Because, I worked for the police department since they were little. So I know what people did to children. And so it was a very, it just made me work overtime in making sure that I kept them safe. That's the reason why I told y'all. A lot of people said, "Did you really go to bed like that for your daughter with that African?" I said, "You better ask some goddamn body." I sure did. And I didn't even talk about everything we did, but we got down with the lowdown because that's my damn child. And now she's back home. She's got a good job. I wanted her to be a nurse, and she was doing it for a minute, and she made good grades and stuff. But what I did was I ended up getting her a really good job, through some of my connects. And she started making all that money. She wasn't even worried about nursing school. I cried. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have got her a good job. But hey, God knew what she needed, because God knew that our little Justice was going to come into the world, and she's able to provide for her, because she does very well. She's very smart. Both of them are. They're really hard workers. God really blessed me, when he gave me, the girls that I have. And I think about, everything now as far as being overly protective. I did give them a good life. I gave them everything. And I have to say that I was blessed, regardless to whoever was around, who wasn't, most of the time, I still had a really good support system. I was always extremely blessed. I never had to struggle, because even when I was lacking, because it wasn't always like it is now. Like, I wasn't as, because I had my issues, you know what I mean? I'm talking about with, you know, finance, especially when they were born and stuff. I wasn't in the position that I'm in now. But the good thing about it is, like, I was always blessed, because I always had my dad. And when my oldest daughter was born, my dad went to Sam's. I never bought a diaper. I had so many diapers and pull-ups and stuff that my closet was full. I was in the process of giving them away to my best friend, because she had gotten pregnant. And then I found out I was pregnant. I was like, hell, I might as well keep them. That's how stocked up I was on diapers and stuff. So I always had a really good support system. My mom, my grandmother, my dad was just always really good to me and my kids. So I was always blessed in that aspect, because even though at some point I didn't have it together, because I was trying to go back to school, and I was working little part-time jobs while I was going to school, because school was the priority. My family was just a hardcore support system. And I intend to be the exact same way for my child, except for God is so good. My baby is in a position where she's making a very good living, okay? And and she's doing extremely well, okay? So, but anyways, I had to get that out there. I actually got on here to talk about energy vampires, but I think I'm gonna just have to go ahead and just do another video on energy vampires and keeping toxic people out of your life at all costs. And maybe I'll just go on and do it and make it a long video. I started thinking about, as my grandbaby was born, we was sitting there, and we had just prayed for my baby, and I was sitting there, because like I said, you have to worry about the mothers and stuff too, because I just told y'all about what happened to my first cousin. And I started thinking about energy vampires and how people will attach themselves to you to suck all of the life out of you. Like, people see the good energy that you have, all of the good traits and attributes that you possess. And if you're not careful, if you allow people to come into your life and they got all of this toxicity attached to them, you don't ever know what these people dealing in. Voodoo, you got people with that copycat spirit that will try and duplicate you. Okay. They will watch you and study you, what you say, and try and duplicate you, and become to just become a counterfeit to try and fool other people. Okay, and so God put into my spirit, when you allow energy vampires into your life, and it has happened to all of us. Um, you know, take heed, okay? Take heed and move, run quickly. And when you stay on your knees in prayer, God will reveal all of that stuff to you. You know, he'll reveal it to you. You know, a lot of us, we have, such good spirits and stuff. And what people don't understand is all they got to do, because it's a lot of us born with good, just brilliant minds, really. You know how to put stuff together, you know how to do things, you just know how to do stuff. That's the reason why people, oftentimes, that copycat spirit that don't know who they are will try and duplicate you and become you. Okay. Um, and okay with being a counterfeit. Um, but we oftentimes, a lot of women are born with that. And so what the devil does is the devil will send an energy vampire. And a lot of times people don't understand they don't even have to do that, because most of us have really good spirits. I like seeing people win. So you don't have to try to trick me. If I like you, I'm gonna help you anyways. If you ask me, I ain't talking about no money, but I'm just talking about with the knowledge. Okay, with the knowledge. Okay. And so, but the human people have become so sick and pathetic that that all they know, they consistently create bad karma for themselves. All they know is, I got to trick this person so I can get this out of them. When if you're real with them, you could get it anyways without the bad karma attached. Because I'm gonna tell you something: when you think you're making a fool out of people, whatever you're trying to get from them, even if you get it, it's gonna tank. It ain't gonna work out. That's why oftentimes when you see people, and I was thinking about Charleston White, and I don't know how that went, okay? But I know, especially, people will try and hijack. They'll watch you to try and hijack whatever you got going on. Now, I don't know if that stuff is true with Charleston White, but I know it happens. But I would use that as an example. When he said rainwater try to hijack him or whatever, I don't know. It's possible, but we'll know if it tanks. Because one thing for sure, that's why they say you can't release your vision to everybody, because they'll try and run with it. That's true. They will. They'll try and run with it. And people are so evil now, they don't really give a damn about it not prospering, as long as they can get money off of the top. They just want to, everybody on this get rich scheme now. That's why they on here hacking folks' accounts, trying to get their social security numbers and their information. Some of these folks that the FBI looking at, okay? And they don't give a damn, because they want the money off top. They feel like, well, the FBI might be looking to folks and turn them on to us. But hey, if we keep doing it, I have money to hire me some high price attorneys. They don't even know what the feds got in store for their maggot asses. Okay. But people will try and hijack your vision, but you don't have to worry about it, because it ain't gonna prosper. If God didn't give it to them, they can't really run too far with it. You see what I mean? That's what they're saying. If God gives you the vision, he'll give you the provision. They can't run too far with it, because it wasn't their idea. Because when God gives it to you, he'll give it to you from the start to the finish. All they got was the start. That's why they can't finish. It wasn't given to them. That's why I don't really worry about people. I get tickled sometimes when I see energy vampires. They do. I do. I get tickled. Okay. But that's why you have to consistently stay prayed up, y'all, and keep toxic people out of your life at all costs. People will come into your life just to try and destroy you. You could be doing just as well. I've seen it. So I've seen it so much, especially in the work that I do. I've had cases where I work with people, okay, and they get ready to go through a divorce, and I get them what they need, because oftentimes, these men, These people that's got a lot of money. And these women off the chain now too. I have more men to call me now. I get secondhand embarrassment. These women coding like 40 going north. Okay. I don't know what's going on in the home, but they sure doing it. And they always cheat when men ain't got a damn thing to give them. Like, Lord have mercy. Okay. Hell, they trying to live off her and the husband. Her husband got a good job. Yeah, she married. Her husband got a good job taking care of us all. The side dude. Okay. Move Remy. But that's why, you know, if a woman hires me, right, and I get her what she need and her husband has a lot to lose, okay. Oftentimes when they are in mediation and they are presented with her attorney shows her the evidence that we've gotten, he'll want to reconcile because he ain't trying to lose everything. Okay. And a lot of times because women, they want their marriages. The majority of them do. They do. They want them. They will. They don't think about he's only it's cheaper to keep her. They just want their husband. And so they'll go back and then within a year later they'll call me back. I need to rehire you again. I go, okay. I think he back doing something. He never stopped. Okay. But what'll happen is, or what'll happen is when they are going through that divorce, because oftentimes divorce takes a while and they'll separate. And she's in the process of healing. A lot of times, in some cases, they have healed. And then when they get into mediation or whatever, he realizes it's cheaper to keep her. He'll claim he wants his marriage back and take all of that toxicity back into her life. Act like I want to make my marriage work. I've been with you 30 years and I was wrong. And oftentimes women want to hear that. Okay. You've been with somebody 30 years, you love them. If you don't love them, you hate them. It ain't no in between. Either you love them or you hate them. Okay. And most times they still love them. And I've had women say all of that healing that, it was hurtful. I've been away from him, all of that healing, that God has started to give me. I thought he really wanted his marriage. In the back of her mind, she knew he didn't. Because they ain't no dumb women. They didn't help these men to build empires. They ain't dumb. But they wanted to believe that. And she realized that it was a game because it was just cheaper to keep them. And so now she back at square one. She was allowed that negative energy back into her life. All of that toxicity, it costs y'all to heal. It do. You have to pray. You have to fast. It takes time to be okay. And that's why you have to continuously fight to keep energy vampires out of your life, because they'll come back with bad intentions to suck all of the goodness out of you. The devil, I keep telling y'all, the devil is attracted to the anointing. These doggish men and women know when somebody has good energy on you. They know when you ain't got a lot of miles on your vajayjay, especially when they used to dealing with whores. Okay. And they'll come and try and destroy your life. And they know you ain't ready. They ain't ready for you. That's why you have to keep toxicity. When you recognize, if you're a praying person, God will show it to you anyways. We're in the image of God. We know when something ain't right, but we'll continuously ignore it. That's why it is important to keep energy vampires out of your life, y'all, at all costs. Continuously pray. Get on your journey. I've been journaling. I've been on like this because I had said, and I gotta get this straight. When I said I had been journaling and detoxing for a year, somebody said somebody had posted, yeah, I'm a recovering addict too. I ain't never been on no damn drugs. And I don't mean no harm. I ain't talking bad about the people who have. No alcohol either. I'm talking about from negativity, from negative people that had tainted my life. So for the past year, I've been on a spiritual journey. That's why I get on YouTube. You know, when you get on YouTube, I was listening to a pastor today. Her name is Genesis Warren, and I was scrolling. I don't never go on Facebook, but because my little grandbaby, I had to show my relatives my little grandbaby. I had gotten on Facebook, okay. And when I got on Facebook this morning, and I was up early because I had to go into meditation. Genesis said, I want to read it to y'all. I gotta read it to y'all. That's the first thing that I saw, and God quickly put into my spirit. That's why these devils had started trying to attack me. People know on YouTube, people know, and like they could stop my greatness. I was great before I got on YouTube. They don't like to hear that. Oh, she say she's a great. You damn right, motherfuckers. I was already great. Okay, here she is, Genesis, and she's from Memphis now, living in Atlanta. Um, She says the next season of prosperity is going to cost you comfort. Prepare to be mislabeled and persecuted. Your wealth is in an uncommon place, and you will obtain it without toil. It is so. And God put into my spirit, that is the reason why these Negroes have been trying to attack me on YouTube, these men. And they got women that work with them because they jealous hearted. I know who some of them are. Okay. Um, when the enemy knows that you are moving into something else, in which YouTube, I ain't even tapped into no wealth, but it must be something here stored for me, if nothing else, to help to change people's lives. Because the enemy start coming in, we gonna corner the market, bitch. You going to jail? You trafficking women. That's what happens when you mess with an investigator. You're doing credit card fraud, and the feds know it. Should we continuously go on? Y'all gonna keep getting hackers to hacking a goddamn account that I don't even make no money off of? Because I can go make another one until y'all gone. Okay, to jail. That is. It ain't gonna hurt me none because YouTube don't pay me, but it helped to prove the case that we got open. But it's a damn shame that people think that they can stop your blessings and your bag. They're energy vampires too. Anytime Black people start getting involved in anything, okay, they end up messing up. It's the same way they say, well, um, a lot of Black people, when they start moving into a neighborhood, um, I just think they shouldn't be that stereotypical of our peoples. Is motherfucker, ain't nobody gonna live in a neighborhood, okay? Well, a bunch of Negroes, napping neck cucklebuckhead Negroes, not all Black folks ain't uncouth. Come into the neighborhood, and next thing you know, the nigga got a car heist up with oil running all down the damn driveway. 6, 7 car as a mechanic. Now we gonna have a neighborhood, get the neighborhood association, and we're gonna start calling code enforcement. We're gonna do whatever we need to do to cause him hell. You paying for a $200,000-$300,000 house, and this nigga think he can bring his ass over there and do that? White people just do it too. I ain't never seen it, but I'm sure, but I don't see it. I ain't never seen it. I just seen it with us. Okay. But anytime we start, especially if it's some money or something involved, we start going crazy. Eyes are gonna corner YouTube. How in the hell you think you gonna corner YouTube, the YouTube market? How you think you gonna do that? It don't even sound right. A limitless market, and a bunch of nappy cuckabug head bottom feeding motherfuckers think they gonna corner it. That's sick. But that's the mentality of our people. Eyes are gonna kill. And we'll try to do it. It ain't got a damn thing to do with this young dog case here. Everybody vlogs on the young dog case, and 85% of the shit, 90, is fake. Them folks so tight-lipped about what's going on in the young dog case, you wouldn't know a damn thing unless you know the people on the inside. 95% of it is fake. I'll go as far as to say that. So the young dog's case, it don't matter. That's why people start attacking me, because they scared of what I know. And it don't change nothing. That's why I always say it don't change a damn thing. If I know something, it's because the folks know. I ain't the one they need to be worried about. They ought to be mad at their own asses for concocting a scheme to have that boy killed. Because they sure did it. Eyes are gonna kill somebody. That's just what the feds want. They said he's some dumb motherfuckers. Don't matter if they got money or not, they dumb. They too dumb. They think they so smart. They absolutely borderline retardation dumb with the shit they doing because they think they got money, whoever it is. And they get a bunch of crazy, ignorant motherfuckers to go out and do their dirt. So it wouldn't matter. And these internet trolls that they hire, they better fire them. Okay? Because they're going to be looking at some damn old cases. Already is. Because they ain't helped them none. They hurt them. But it wouldn't matter who talked about the young dog's case. It ain't going to change what lies they tell or don't tell. It ain't going to change the outcome. Young dog he going to get justice. He already got it. It just ain't really manifested to the public. There's an appointed date and time for everything. Because there is a God. And they should have thought about all that shit before they did that to that boy, because they could not stand to see him be blessed. Everybody want to floss and flex, but they don't want nobody else to do. I'll go kill them because they flexing more than me. No, you too stupid. These folks put themselves in that position, and they pulling these bottom feeding bloggers that they hire into it with them. They don't give a damn. They ain't never had nothing. So I guess to them it's worth it. Okay. Energy vampires and toxicity. Some people are so toxic that they'd rather see you lose your life than be blessed, when ain't no human being got nothing to do with being blessed. Don't y'all know I understand how God works? There are some people, you don't ever know a person's prayer life. It's some people that I know I didn't care for. And I would be sitting looking at them. I didn't dislike them. I just probably didn't care for their personalities. There's a lot of people don't care for mine. But that's because they don't know my heart. Because if you ever, I'm a winner. If you ever get into my inner circle, you got a loyal friend for life, because I'm a rider. And I protect my friends and my family at all costs. Okay? I'm very territorial and protective. That's why I don't have a lot of friends, because I don't see that reciprocating. When I tell you I got a friend that I've been friends with since I was 5 years old. Now we got different sets of friends because she out in the street for real. We both came from the hood. When I left the hood, I left the hood. She's still in the hood. But that's my rider. Okay. She went another route. I went another route. But that's still my best friend. I can trust her. There have been some more women that God had brought into my life. Even as of recently, since I've been on YouTube. Okay. But what I was getting ready to say is, people, there have been, you don't ever know a person's praying um life. There have been some people that I know I didn't care for, and they was sitting in need, and I would look at them, and God would just say, do this for them. Or I knew they needed something, and and they would go, dog, I didn't even know you liked me like that. They would just boo-hoo and cry. I didn't even know you even liked me like that. In my mind, I'd be saying, I don't know why I'm doing this, because I really don't care for you. But see, that's what God will do when you have I guess when you turn down something and start praying. That's the spirit of God working. So I said that to say this: you can't stop nobody's blessings. You don't know who God has designated to be a blessing, okay? Or for somebody to be a blessing to. That's the reason why, when people start trying to turn folks against you, if God has assigned that person and that person is in a position and God has assigned that person to be a blessing in your life, a devil in hell can't stop it. The other person end up getting exposed. Okay? Because the will of God is going to always supersede any evil. And it goes back to what I was saying a little earlier about my grandbaby. I was kind of hesitant. I was so excited. I wanted to show him and my kids, but I'll whoop a bitch about my kids. Excuse my French. Okay. And I thought about all the evilness and how people just completely evil and wish evil on folks' kids. And that's when I started getting the spiritual warriors. So any prayer that goes out against mine, you can look for that person to be dead before this year out. Because everything they say or do, every curse, anytime they go down to that grave and consult with the dead, they're gonna be laying right next to them, because it's going to be reversed in the spiritual. It already has been in the spiritual realm. See, I tell people all the time, you have to be very careful about who you mess with and put your mouth on. You don't know their spirit, you don't know their ranking in the spiritual realm. It's folks that's got grandmamas and great grandmamas and stuff that had sealed prayers in heaven for their lineage long before they was ever even thought of. That's why some of these folks, as soon as they start messing with somebody, they have a stroke and die. They start having all kinds of bad luck. They thought they had gotten away with a murder, and it's coming up again because you put your hands and mouth on the wrong person. Okay. That's why it's good to always stay prayed up. Know who's in your circles, because more women have territorial, jealous personalities. They'll work with these men to try and hurt you just because of their jealousy. She thinks she's somewhere in them heels. Okay. Just because of their jealousy. They'll try to get close to you to try and hurt you, because they feel like he ain't gonna help them none by helping the man to kill you or something like that. But they feel like, cause she cute, it ain't gonna change you being looking however you look. It ain't gonna affect your life by trying to accept or to make it worse by trying to destroy somebody else's life. But that's the mindset of our people. That's the mindset of our people, y'all. I know this message has been all over the place. I just had a lot of emotions going on. Journaling has been extreme. I think I was going to talk about that. I had so much going on. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. Journaling has been the best thing that I could have ever done, because in my healing and detox process, I've gone through some stuff in the past, and it's got a lot to do with other people just having a good heart and wanting to believe in damaged people, right? And in the process, I'm so happy God didn't allow it to damage me to the point where I was just evil. Because some people get damaged and they're evil and mean, and it causes them to have a black heart. Okay. It may have hurt me, but there's a lesson in everything, right? And so in my detox process, when I started detoxing last year, I was like, I'm gonna start detoxing to pray all of these spirits that have attached to me along the way. And there's a lot of them. When you deal with people, you have to deal with all the other spirits that are already attached to them from other people. And it's a lot of wicked, they have a lot of wicked, evil, twisted spirits attached to them. And so I just started my detox process. And for the last year and a half, it had been so therapeutic. Okay. Just writing and journaling. And I love to write down the dates and the time and what I'm feeling at that exact moment. And I love going back reading like some of my stuff from last year. And I go, oh my God, like, September 1st, 2021. Oh God, I was feeling this way. I was in a bad place. But I'm sure better now. This person made me feel this way. I ain't even got contact with that person no more. Ain't God good? I was feeling that way. Like the healing, you get to see your healing process. Like you get to keep your healing journey. And even if you get off track, get back on track. Get on your knees and get back on track. Get out when you get on your knees and pray, get up off your knees and get back on track. Okay? Because you can. And just pick up where you left off and keep going because you better believe God got something good in store for you. Okay. And all of those energy vampires that came to try to hurt you, that came to try to destroy you, they came to try to drain you, you're going to start feeling sorry for them because God says, touch not my anointed ones and do my prophets no harm. There's a price to pay when you come up against good-hearted, good people that's favored by God. There is a price to pay. And you don't wish nothing bad on them. You just feel sorry for them. Because God's get back game is always on fleek. You ain't got to raise one finger. Because there's a price to pay for messing over good people, okay? So keep energy vampires away from you because the devil is attracted to the anointing. Of course, they want you around because you come with a lot of valuables. If it's nothing but your mind and your energy, and they want to suck you of it. Some people hang around nothing but energy vampires. People don't know who they are, copycats, witchcraft, voodoo, whatever. And then they'll come and walk into your door and bring all that stuff into your life and leave it at your house. And you're trying to figure out what the hell wrong with me? Why am I depressed? Why am I this? Why am I that? Because those people come with a lot of baggage, but they've left with your good energy. They leave feeling good because they've sucked the life out of you. And that's why I say the devil is attracted to the anointing. So keep toxicity out of your life at all costs. Because there's a high price to pay, and it's too high of a price to pay. Especially when you're talking about your peace and things of that nature, to have certain people around you, especially when they ain't right. And not being right is a choice. It's a choice that they make. It's a choice. Because, see, the Bible talk about spirits transferring. People, if spirits transfer, if you got good energy, you would think that some people want to be around people with positive energy because spirits do transfer and they want to get out of negativity. And that's why I say I hang around positive people. I hang around these positive people because now I'm positive. That's a different thing. That's a good transfer. But some people want to suck all your good energy and life out of you because they are morally corrupt and energy depleted and dark so that they can suck your good energy and be vibrant to re-energize them so that they can go back into their devilish stuff. That price is too high. Okay? But anyways, you guys, I didn't mean to do an hour live just on this, but please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to, I hope I helped y'all. I went all over the world today, but maybe y'all needed this. Okay. If y'all would like to support the channel, you can do it via Cash App, but please subscribe to the channel. Okay. I love you guys. I'll be on tonight. I'll talk to you later.